We're on to Shemot
I
chapter.
didn't have any Sunday.
No Sunday dinner. Okay, but yeah, dinner though.
No, I went to my friend's house, my mother's sister. I got home and I was tired. I still am.
Oh, so I don't want you to faint, So you want us to pause and wait till you have dinner, because we can wait,
No, 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 not at all.
or
I am ready.
because there's a possibility that we could get some, so it,
That's it.
it would be worth it. All right, so we're on to Shemot chapter 24. Would have done spent a lot of time in Shemot chapter Exodus chapter 21, 22, and 23. Watching the mishpatim, that the laws unfold, laws of slavery, injury, festivals, property, and we also saw where the 10 commandments, are what we call the 10 words, were revealed and shared. And so there's so many laws, it would be a challenge for me to say list 10 off and without reading, but it would take some time. The covenant was confirmed with the blood, and the people saying, we will do and obey the Creator. We saw where the elders climbed to the mountain and they saw Elohim, right? So we're into 24 now to see how this interaction further unfolded. All right, we'll read the first two verses. And to Moshe he said, come up to the Creator, you and Aharon, Nadav and Abihu, and 70 of the elders and Israel, and you shall bow yourselves from a distance. But Moshe shall draw near to the Creator by himself, and let them not draw near, nor let the people go up with him. So we see a big invitation there to have.
Brother, there is a delete after you reading these at the time. Like
Repeat, please.
There's some interference with the sound. It sounds a bit distorted, and there's something that comes after.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
All right. What I can do, I can hang up and call back immediately, or I can because there's not much noise in my surrounding. If it doesn't sound better, let me hang up and call back right now. Want us to try that immediately? All right. Oh, well, it didn't hang up because I realized I was the only one that hung up. Still hearing someone in the background?
No, I'm not hearing it.
All right. No. Well, I just exited the chat and re-entered, so that's good for the fix. So we see a large contingent was called to come up to the Creator. Well, it was said to Moshe, he's to come up with the 70 elders, Nadav, Abihu, and Aharon, and they were to draw near, right? I'm aware that there was a restriction that nobody should pass the boundary at the foot of of Mount Sinai. So it would be that they would have gone closer than the other people, but I think it is a case where Moshe himself was the one privileged to draw nearer, because in verse 2 it says, but Moshe shall draw near to the Creator. That means the others were not allowed to draw near to the Creator. So their worship would have been worship afar off, and they were instructed to be and you shall bow yourselves. So in other words, they should fall prostrate, right, in that position which face the body's face is face down, and that's one way of showing honor and fear. Even in today's justice system, sometimes we see persons greeting persons in the courts with a bow, right? But here we are seeing that the only bowing should be going, or any prostration should be only to the Creator. We don't see where it is actually encouraged anywhere else. Right. So the meaning of this is that the Creator is high and we are low, and so we bow. Moshe got a chance to go forward because he is the mediator, and they were privileged. Yes, they got a chance to go up a little closer, but only he could cross the final boundary of nearness. Verses 3 and 4 says, "And Moshe came and related to the people all the words of the Creator and all the right rulings. And all the people answered with one voice and said, All the words which the Creator has spoken, we shall do. And Moshe wrote down all the words of the Creator and rose up early in the morning, and built a slaughter place at the foot of the mountain, and 12 standing columns for the 12 tribes of Israel." I want to pause here to recognize the timing of this. We have read already where the people said all that the Creator said we will do. But is this before the 10 commandments were given or after the 10 commandments were given? Because the chapter actually started in a past tense. It says, "And to Moshe he said," right? So something is being relayed, and it would be good for us to know, if this was the timing of this, if it was before or after, or if there's anything in the verse that actually says it. You see in verse 3 that is he related all the words. What words did he relate to the people? Right? And he wrote down all the words of the Creator and rose up early in the morning and built a slaughter place. A question that boggles my mind is, at what point did Moshe get the words or get the history or recording of what happened from creation, from Genesis 1, from Adam's time to the point of receiving the Torah? We do not see anywhere else in the Torah where, Moshe got, most time we see where the words are told to him or the commandments were given on tablets. But here in verse 4 it says, "And Moshe wrote down all the words." All right, so, and he rose up early in the morning. Well, that's the regular thing. I remember when, after people were told to prepare themselves for 3 days, then that after Moshe also got up the following morning, the fourth morning, to venture to meet the Creator. So is this the similar timing, or is it after? We read on and see if there's anything else that gives light to this. 4 to 8. Because we want to find out what these all words are about. Is it a case that the Creator gave him some words to write down, or these words were the 10 commandments, or this is the history from creation? "And Moshe wrote down all the words of the Creator and rose up early in the morning and built a slaughter place." Right, I read that already. Verse 5. "And he sent young men of the children of Israel, and they offered ascending offerings and slaughterings of peace offerings to the Creator of bulls. And Moshe took half the blood and put it in the basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the slaughter place. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the hearing of the people, and they said, All that the Creator has spoken we shall do and obey. And Moshe took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, See, the blood of the covenant which the Creator has made with you concerning all these words." So we are hearing all these words more than once. We see where Moshe, some young men were called into action. So must never forget to share, allow the youth within our midst to share in Torah study. I believe that if we as adults continue to study and we don't share to them, then the other generation will be at risk of not hearing or valuing the words of the Creator. So I was even suggesting that, for all of us, we could encourage our children to find some way to participate in Torah. So not necessarily this, but something to engage them in terms of creativity, use of media, use of technology, to share the little they know or learn. That would be help. So the young men were put into place and they offered offerings. And what we should notice here is that these were actually the firstborn, and the firstborn was the designated group that were the quote unquote priests in every household. They were the ones that offered the offerings. Why? Maybe it's that the parents would have been older, not having that agility to interact with the animals that were required for offerings. So it is later now, after the commandment was given, that after the incident of the golden calf, that only the tribe of Levi, they were the ones responsible to offer ascending offerings. But prior to that, it would have been the young men of all the tribes. The firstborn in every household, they had that grand and very significant responsibility to do. So I'm taking it based on this that was happening at that time. The Torah was not yet given, because if the Torah was already given in its fullness, then you wouldn't have then the young men being the ones offering the sacrifice. The word for offering is korban, the kof, the resh, the beit, and the nun, and it simply means drawing close. So if we see any definition for offerings, including the mention of animals, then that's not a correct definition. Korban is offerings, and it actually means just draw close. So it is in presenting what is being presented to the Creator that they draw closer. And that is the essence of offerings, of getting closer to the Creator. Else, it would not have any greater meaning than that. So we see Moshe took half of the blood. So maybe he divided it himself, or he had the help of the young men. Sprinkled it on the slaughter place. And he took the book of the covenant and read it in the hearing of the people. What was he reading? What was in this book of this covenant? There must have been a covenant with Adam. There must have been a covenant. The Creator usually makes covenant with his people. A covenant with Noah, a covenant with Abraham, covenant with Yitzhak, and also we see the covenant here being read to the people. The simplest word I can use for the book of the covenant is something synonymous to a history book. So it tells what agreement the Creator had with patriarchs coming down. And I'm thinking it is in this book that it is possible that the history of Adam coming down to Moshe would have been written. But of course, this is something that we need to dive deeper into. All right, so questions I have here: why involve the young men? I think we answered that already. They are more agile and strong, and this was not at the time of the Levitical system as already set up. What's the significance of reading the book? Well, I just believe that if you read a book for children, they'll learn to read and practice reading, but it also gives them a history and give them significance of explanations, additional detail about what they practice currently at the time and what it really means. So that is a reason to read to the people. It doesn't say to the young people, but to the people. So the people heard and knew, and they agreed to the terms, right? And that is what makes it binding. But I'm wondering if it was too presumptuous or too soon for them to say accept the terms, because it is easy to hear something like, honor your father. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, we'll sign up for that. But then there are other things in the covenant that may not have been easy to do for them, or and maybe questionable. But these people must be applauded for their faith and their positive outlook, that they agreed to the covenant, all that is said we will do. Simple as that. 9-11. And Moshe went up, also Aharon, Nadav and Avihu, and the 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the Elohim of Israel under his feet like a paved work of sapphire stone, and like the heavens of brightness. Yet he did not stretch out his hand against the chiefs of the children of Israel, and they saw Elohim, and they ate and drank. Am I reading here that they actually saw the Creator, or they saw his messenger, or they saw a representation of him? Right? Well, let's accept it as what is mentioned, not what we think or what we've been taught. It says, and they saw Elohim, and under his feet like a paved work of sapphire. Based on his power and his greatness, it would not have been proper for them to see him. And no wonder the following verse actually says, yet he did not stretch out his hand against the chiefs, and they saw Elohim, and they ate and drank. So maybe they should not have seen him, and that was deserving of maybe punishment, or the capital punishment, right? But I'm seeing where that he did not stretch out his hand. So whatever this is meaning, those 73 persons, the 70 elders and the 3 men, were in serious trouble. Right? The fact that they ascended higher than the rest of the nation, they were in a privileged position, and is it that they saw a little bit too much? Saw the Elohim of Israel, they saw his essence, because the fact that there's a description of under his feet. We know that the Creator is not man; he doesn't have a feet, but that is the description that was used by Moshe. How could they see the Elohim of Israel and live? Well, they likely saw something, or an appearance, or something veiled in appearance, but the Creator controlled himself. Welcome, my sister. We're at Shemot chapter 24 at verse.
Greetings, brother.
Yes, greeting. We're at Shemot chapter 24, verses 10 and 11, where there's a mention that they saw Elohim of Israel. And we're wondering, how could they see the Creator and live? But the verse actually explains it afterwards, that the Creator did not stretch out his hands against these elders. So that's where we're at. So we're going to continue from verses 12 to 14. And the Creator said to Moshe, come up to me on the mountain and be there, while I give you tablets of stone and the Torah and the command which I have written to teach them. Okay, so this is the verse that actually pointing out to me that all the preceding events were before the Torah was given. Because if it's mentioning in chronological order, then them saying that all that is said we will do and all of that. Here we are seeing that it is after that the Creator said, come up and I will give you tablets of stone and the Torah and the command which I have written to teach them. So what was it that was in the book that was told to Moshe already? Would that be the history from Genesis, from Genesis, from the story of Adam coming down to Moshe? Right, that is a point to note. Oh, I was reading from 12 to 14. And Moshe arose with his assistant Yehoshua, and Moshe went up to the mountain of Elohim. And he said to the elders, wait here for us until we come back to you. And see, Aharon and Hur are with you. Whoever has matters, let him go to them. So we're seeing, is this first time we're seeing Yehoshua? No, we have seen the name Yehoshua before. But he was the assistant, and he went up to the mountain, certainly higher than the others. But, well, He was more advanced because they were already warned and told that nobody should pass the boundaries after they have prepared themselves for the 3 days and gathered. So, where these men were invited, these 70 elders, and where Yehoshua went, um, it cannot be beyond the boundary because that was the instruction that was given from the onset. You see another name there to Hor, who this guy.
I want to say something about that because this definitely trumps the God with the spirit and do that worship in truth, worship in spirit and in truth. Because this is how they can see him, and he warned them not to come up, so they not to come up and swear, or else they would die. And now they're given a description of what this is a physical form, something that is tangible, somebody that they can see,
can touch.
who has feet.
Right. So they got well, I mean, we have heard about the powerful hands of the Creator that delivered Israel, and we also mentioned something about the nose that we had read in one of the chapters as well. So there is some language being used to describe the Creator. Feet. All right, I don't know what's next. Oh, I think there's another part that said the back side of the Creator too. So all different angles, and the eyes of the Creator are upon us. So all the the bodily parts are used to create, but we know that He is spirit, and so what they see is a representation, right? I believe that these guys saw a little bit too much because He's mentioned in 11 that He did not stretch His hand against them, and I don't see what they would have done wrong other than peeping past too far or something. There's mention that Yehoshua, they were to stay a little lower because later on we're going to see where the golden calf event, Yehoshua would have been the one that was watching on the people and could give Moshe information that something went awry, with the people of Israel and their patience. So Yehoshua definitely did not go up to the highest peak with Moshe. Was the Torah first given orally or in writing? We have the Torah here in writing, but I think it was a verse, I think it's verse 12 that tells that the Creator said, "Come up to me on the mountain while I give you the tablets and the Torah and the command which I've written." So it is the Creator that would have written the Torah. So when I used to have my debates on Bible, I wasted so much time doing that, but people say, "Oh, I don't follow the law of Moses. Moses wrote the law." Right, nothing like that. The Torah was actually written by the Creator. And it doesn't even matter if he was the one that dictated it to Moshe after he broke the tablets. But the fact that it comes where it's coming from original, that's what makes the difference. So that is not something that we should really, a conversation that we should really have to say that Moshe wrote the Torah and we don't need to follow Moshe. He was just a mediator, an instrument that used. Very great prophet as well. We saw other guys mention Aharon and Hor. Why were they mentioned? The thing is that Moshe couldn't do everything. One man can't do everything. And, I think we've stressed this over and over. He told them to wait. Wait there until I come back. And also, he doesn't just leave all 70 of them to judge between matters. Once these people are around with different background and views, you're going to have conflicts and quarrel. And so he had to instruct Aharon and Hor that whoever has matters, let them be sorted out by them. So that is order. 15 to 18, the last three verses. And Moshe went up into the mountain, and a cloud covered the mountain, and the esteem of the Creator dwelt on Mount Sinai. And the cloud covered it for 6 days, and on the seventh day he called to Moshe out of the midst of the cloud. And the appearance of the esteem of the Creator was like a consuming fire on the top of the mountain before the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moshe went into the midst of the cloud and went up into the mountain. And it came to be that Moshe was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. So Moshe went up. Maybe it's the fifth or sixth time this. But all we know, we have seen many times where he went up, right? And we see that it was a powerful event. The cloud covered the mountain. For 6 days, the cloud covered the mountain. And so, what 6 days? This 6 day now, is it 6 days from the day from the new moon, or it's just sometime in in a month after they got an instruction? 6 days later, the mountain was covered. I would want us to jump quickly and assume that every time we see 6 days, it means preparation day automatically, and 6 days preparation day, and then the seventh day is a Shabbat, because we are seeing a combination of events where 3 days we are told to clean up themselves. Fourth day, at the start of this chapter, we saw where the 70 elders and Moshe were called a little closer, and they were to be bowed down prostrate. Then Moshe went up a little nearer to draw closer to the crater. We saw where he came back down. Then we see where he's going up back. But before he goes up back, there were 6 days of cloud, being covered. Right? What's the significance of this 6 days? Right? It to be, what happened? Were they able to move within those 6 days, or did they the cloud covered the mountain? That means people could not see, right? And on the seventh day, he called Moshe. So he told him to come, but he waited 6 days. So could the 6 days be 6 days of preparation to go up? Because he was called 7 days earlier, and it's on the seventh day he had to go up. So if we're preparing ourselves to go in the presence of the Creator, 6 days, and we were to wait, I think 6 days would be good, because it gives us time to prepare ourselves. The people there, 3 days was good enough for them to refrain from any intimate activities and anything else that would cause them uncleanness. Right? But here Moshe waited all of 6 days, but then after the 6 days, the steam came, and Moshe went into the midst of the cloud. Well, so he could see, or the provision was made for him to see through the midst of the cloud. Right? That must have been a sight for Israel. Right? Consuming fire. They must be in awe. They must have been in fear, and just to see what's happening at that summit. Right? The text doesn't really explain to see how Moshe eventually went through the clouds, but we're sure that the purpose of the mist was the cloud was to conceal the Creator's presence, right? And to only let reveal what needed to be revealed. So we're at the end of the chapter, and well, there's a lot.
Was it only to conceal, or was it also to protect the people?
Well, protect, because Moshe himself, it gave him time to wait, to prepare himself to go up. And before the eyes, it says.
No, I'm talking about the cloud. Was it only to conceal the Creator, or was it also to protect the people from?
It would be both. It would be both, because those guys, the elders, the chiefs, they saw what they should not have seen, and he had to withhold his hand.
17, the sight of the glory of the Creator was like devouring fire.
Yeah, consuming. So
like something that could have harmed them.
So it could have consumed them, right? It could have consumed them then, if they didn't if they weren't protected. So that is a good thing that that was done. So it's both to conceal and, aside some, that is both, I'm thinking, conceal and to protect. right? So it's interesting. I think for the next chapters, it's going. We're approaching the golden calf coming up. What will happen when he returns from the mountain? But prior to that, we're going to see something about the construction of the tabernacle. So let's continue to read ahead and prepare to share our thoughts as we go through these verses each evening. All right, Shalom.
Before you go, brother.
Yes, sister.
No, not yet. No, Shalom, not
Yeah.
yet. Just reading these things, I have a little challenge. Reconciling the whole issue of the spirit being of the Creator and the actions that they assign to the Creator. I don't even want to say Him, to the Creator. For example, writing on the stones with his fingers. I think we read that earlier, where he wrote on the 10th. Is it here, so? Or am I missing something?
No. Yes, it said writing. It said writing in the same chapter here. It didn't say finger though, but verse 12 says it says
own fingers.
It says which I have written. Verse 12.
Yes. And then Moses seeing the face, you know. I mean, I really do have a challenge, I must confess. Reconciling those things. And it does leave me wondering and a halo in my head. If this is just a person like we have today, you have people who can write a book about their encounters with the Creator, you know.
Yeah.
You have people who can tell, people who right now in church who can tell you, yes, I saw the Creator and He told me to do this and He gave me all of this. So, you know, it really has me wondering, reconciling all of it, to be honest. And the more we read these books, is the more I become uncertain. But I just wanted to put that out there. I still accept, like I guess all of us, that there is some truth in it, but I really, I'm having some credibility issues going on here.
Well, go ahead.
I go back to Genesis 1:26. It says, the Creator said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over everything. No. Verse 27 says, so God created man in His own image. In the image of God, created him. Male and female created them. No. This does not say that God is a man, you know, but it says that man is created in His image. So now when we come back to Exodus, and it tells us that He has hands and feet and they can see it, I have to say that maybe man looks like God. So we have hands and feet too, and this is definitely saying hands and feet. When they see something, only what they see is not a man. Hold on a second, sister. Brother Asa, could you mute your mic? I guess not. Thank you. Yes, I'm hearing you now, sister. Go ahead. I wasn't hearing you. Sister? Sister Julia? Yes, Sister Kishka. I will say that in Genesis 1, it says that man was made in the image of God, right? Male and female, but man was made in the image of God. Comes and says that Moses and the elders saw him, right? And they say him, and he has feet. So man was made in His image. It does mean that he is a man, but we are made in His image and likeness. It doesn't mean that he is a man, because the scripture says that. So you can make something, you can fashion something after yourself, but it's not yourself. What you have fashioned is a creation, even though He is not a creation. That's what I'm saying. because they clearly saw something and they described it. And it brought me back to Genesis 1. He made man in his image and likeness.
Yes, and that is how I've always read it, right? However, as we explore the scriptures and I think we discussed it as a family that the Creator is actually a spirit. The Creator
we have spirit too. We have spirit too.
Correct. We are spirit beings too. Yes, correct. So what the question I have, or the doubt I have, even with that whole Genesis thing, and why I'm having this doubt, is because, or concern, maybe not if concern is too strong a word, or just a little quirk, is that even today, you will have men claiming that they have the encounter with the Father. And they will give you vivid descriptions of what they see. And is the whatever. So because I'm now highly suspicious, and I have to tell you guys, because this is my safe space, because I'm highly suspicious of everything now. I'm red flag. Maybe that is it. Maybe